Yeah.
Yep, yep. Patrick, you are live.
Welcome everybody. Exciting live dive down here in Grand Cayman. Today we are on the western side of the island, diving directly in front of Don Foster's Dive Centre. Now we are a little bit further out offshore today. We're about 250 metres or 800 feet offshore because we have come to a spot that we have now coined the Stingray Car Wash, because this cleaning section over here, last time we were here, 2 stingrays came and sat in the exact position that this one is. Oh no, it's swimming up right now. Let's get a bit closer to it. But the stingrays come here to the exact spot. This is the 3rd time we've seen this now, and they sit up against the coral bombing and wait to get cleaned. Now, quick introduction. I am Pat, your underwater biologist today. Riyadh is on camera, and that girl Lauren is up on the surface. So I am a bit further out, as I said, and I am at 16 metres, so about 50 feet down. Now, let's see if this stingray is still hanging around, because it was a bit of a bigger one. And Lauren, why don't you say g'day?
G'day everyone. So this is a great start to the morning. Pat is one lucky lad. So you guys go and see if you can find that stingray. And right now, just to give you some context, we are right directly in front of Don Foster's Dive Centre. So Don Foster's pretty much have their own stingray car wash, which is what we came to name it, right in front of them. We just swim maybe 100 meters offshore, and there we have an area where the southern stingrays seem to come to be cleaned. Pat, have you got sightings of that stingray?
It seems to have disappeared into the abyss. I can't seem to see it.
Well, you guys should definitely hang around there in case another one comes. So for everyone watching, please do send in your questions, your thoughts for what you would like to see, any feedback you have on YouTube or Facebook, and if you are using Twitter, make sure you use that hashtag diveLIVE. Oh, I see a spotted drum.
Oh, do we? Oh yes, I see that there now. Pugfish photo bombs. So yes, this is a spotted drum. This fish, they are quite a magnificent little fish with those really ribbon-like tail and the big extended dorsal fin. Makes like a C shape there. They actually remind me of those ribbon dancers in the Olympics, the gymnasts. Oh, turtle!
Yay, about time!
It's a big one too.
Okay, I'm opening that database. So what I mean by that is we actually positively identify each and every individual turtle, not just the species, the identification, by looking at the scales on the side of the face. So I can tell you already this one's a hawksbill.
Yes.
And hopefully Rianne's going to get a little bit closer and I'll tell you exactly who it is.
Cable. We are out of cable, but it is still in sight, but heading the opposite direction. Hopefully it circles back. Oh, it's making a U-turn.
Giddy, giddy. Just keep your eyes on it. Everyone will wait eagerly. As we have been saying, we haven't seen a turtle in quite some time now. I think it's been over a week. So a stingray and a turtle all within 10 minutes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they've both been pretty fleeting sightings.
And that's okay, just keep your eyes on it, you never know.
In the very, very distance, but it doesn't look like it's coming back around. But that's alright, we'll stake out this area still because There's clearly a lot of activity here right now. So we'll stay around here for a little bit until my air starts to get a bit lower, because we are a bit deeper, and then we'll start to shallow up across the sandy patch.
Are we able to go back to that spotty drum, or have we moved too far away?
Let's have a look. Let's see if we can find it again. Oh no, I can see it right now.
Perfect. We actually wrongly called a spotty drum a jackknife once, because they are incredibly similar, but this is definitely a spotty drum. And this is a juvenile phase, so it looks completely different once it's an adult, and it's nowhere near as beautiful or attractive when it becomes an adult. Oh yeah, we can see it right ahead. You have a juvenile spotted drum.
Now, as this species gets older, it will start to lose those exaggerated fins and start to become a little bit more fish-like. Their head and body gets a lot fatter and rounded, and they don't look anywhere near as graceful as this juvenile.
Yes, and this juvenile doesn't have any spots, so you're probably wondering why is it called the spotted drum. But as it becomes an adult, it does gain lots of spots. So the juveniles tend to just swim in a circular motion and can almost make you quite dizzy watching them. They sort of hide in a crevice or an overhang, and they will just continue to swim round and round and round. And they are nocturnal, so they do feed at night time. So during the day, they're just resting and hiding out from any predators.
Now, we did see this exact same fish in this exact same spot last time, so I wonder if this is the one we actually saw, or whether there's just a few hanging around this pond.
It actually could be, Pat, because it probably will just hide in the same area because it's so young. It's just incredibly cute. I really love these fish. But I haven't seen an adult. Have you, Pat?
No, I actually haven't. I've only ever seen them in identification glass. Yeah, that's pretty peculiar. Perhaps the adults inhabit a different habitat. I'm really not sure.
Yeah, that could also be possible. Once they get older and a little bit better at defending themselves, they could find a different niche and habitat to live in. Now, I really hope we see this turtle.
Yeah, I've been keeping my eyes on that spot on the reef where it was.
So for all those wondering, these sort of red looking dots that are flying by, this is actually the plankton, and from where I'm sitting it looks like there's a lot of plankton in the water column today. And the reason it looks red is because we do use a red filter. This is because red is the first colour that is lost as you go deeper, so the red filter puts it back in when it's necessary to give us the colours that we are seeing right now. So the plankton isn't actually red, but it does appear that way. So am I correct in saying there's lots of plankton today, Pat?
There is plenty of plankton today.
So Chat Noir has mentioned that it looks a bit cloudy, and that's exactly why. It is, and it does, because of all the plankton, which should mean we see great fish activity today.
Yeah, the reefs have been very active the last few days, both in feeding and mating. But there's also been a bit better clarity the last couple of days, so hopefully this increase in plankton also means an increase, a further increase in activity.
Oh, I see a little squirrel fish just hiding out there. So what we see in front of us right now, that red looking fish with the huge black eye, is a squirrel fish. They are also nocturnal, so they have this quite flamboyant, elaborate dorsal fin that they're able to put up. And it looks very glamorous, but they are nocturnal, so during the day they are just hiding out and resting like this one in front of us.
Sorry Lauren, could I just get your audio up a touch?
Yep, Jared is on that right away.
You Cool.
How does this sound now, Pat?
That's good. That's perfect, thank you.
Great. So hopefully we will find some new species of fish today, Pat?
Yes. I am looking about at all of these little fish. There's quite an array of little fish here. I do see a bud. I've already identified that.
I am getting really into this game now of identifying all the fish. Fish can sometimes get overlooked because they are notoriously difficult to identify. There's so many of them, and the attention goes more towards stingrays and sharks and turtles, the sort of megafauna. So is there any sign of that stingray, or?
No, doesn't seem to be. The stingray or the turtle, unfortunately. This is quite a nice piece of coral bombing here. It's very long and wide and also quite deep. So it's a little bit different to what we see back on Casuarina Point. And there's a lot happening above the reef as well, which is probably because of all this plankton in the water.
So Philip Paul is asking about animals being diurnal and nocturnal. So just to go into a little bit of detail, diurnal means they're active during the day and they feed during the day, and nocturnal means they're active at nighttime, feeding at nighttime. Now he has mentioned about, nice grouper, about twilight, and a lot of animals will become active in the twilight zones. So sort of even dawn and dusk, as the sun is either coming up or going down, is a very active period because it's a crossover between when the nocturnal animals are awakening and they're hungry, and the diurnal animals are getting ready to go and hide and have their last meal.
Sorry Lauren, that audio is going right down again. Get that up at all?
Yep, Jared is working on that right now.
Thank you.
So just for everyone, that big grouper was a tiger grouper and it looked quite big. How does that sound, Pat?
Probably, yeah, that's really good. So yeah, the grouper is about probably 4 feet long. Oh no, not 4, about 3, about 90 centimeters.
So Richard is hoping for a scorpion fish, and me too, that would be an awesome find. We haven't actually really shown one of those on diveLIVE because they're so well camouflaged. And I am hoping to see that turtle again and an octopus.
Yeah, the one time we did have a scorpion fish on diveLIVE, it was actually on the area of reef that we're going to go to when I get a bit shallower, so I still definitely look around there. Oh, barracuda up ahead, up above.
Oh yeah, it looks like it's swimming quite fast. Is it a barracuda?
Yeah, great barracuda. So it is about 80 centimeters long, so just under 3 foot. And it is swimming quite high in the water. It's moving in the direction I want to go anyway, so let's come back across this sandy patch and hit the shallower part of the reef. I am chewing through my hair today. I am on already 120 bar, so let's hit the shallower part of the reef so I can stay down here a bit longer with you all.
Yeah, you still have plenty of time left, but I agree it's a good idea to go shallower. So Pat, Love Dogs was asking, are groupers easy to tell apart from snappers and other large fish due to their lips?
Yeah, it's definitely their lips and their body shape. So snappers tend to have a really downturned head, whereas groupers kind of taper along a bit more fluently. Yes, their jaws are also a bit different, and they are quite distinct from one another, although they do have the same kind of build. They are both muscular fishes with robust jaws, little teeth, and they're both predatory. But once you get an eye for it, you can really tell the difference between the two species.
Yeah, groupers tend to be more fatter, more rounder, and they have a different way of swimming compared to snappers. And groupers are actually hugely important, of course, for the commercial fisheries. They're one of the major fish that is fished out of the ocean. And for example, over 40% of the US reef fish catch is actually groupers. So because they are fatter and a little bit heavier, they have more meat on them. So once you compare a snapper and a grouper, they are actually very different looking. But those lips and those jaws are definitely a key identification feature. So we're looking at lots of garden eels right now, Pat.
Yeah, heaps of. So we usually are covering this sandy patch. So we can see that they're very weary animals. As soon as we get close to them, they all kind of drop down. It is cool to see when you're swimming over the top that they all kind of at the same time go down in the same place. So because they are so wary of being eaten or of other predators, you will quite often see snappers, Aussies, just sitting there on the beach, very still, quite a long period of time until it's almost as if they're not there. And that is when they will strike and eat a garden eel as soon as it comes up and thinks the coast is clear.
Yes, and there's actually two different species of garden eel here, and one is the brown garden eel and the other one is the yellow one. So I've often find it really difficult to tell which one is which. So if maybe one is able to get us closer to one, and can you tell, Pat, if it has a brownish tone or a yellowish tone? Or is that not possible? Okay, there is also the giraffe garden eel, which is really cool, but I really don't believe we have seen that one. Oh, it's difficult to tell. I would say this is a brown garden eel. It looks brownish, and it actually has a very large eye. Compared to the size of the head, that eye is pretty large. And we can see them just going up and sinking back into their little burrows.
Yeah, and they do this so efficiently because they have the ability to swim backwards and forwards, and they're not restricted by pesky scales either. So they have a really smooth body. They are still fish, but they don't have scales like fish. It really allows them to come in and out of their burrows as they please. So they can avoid predators, but also do what they're doing right now, and face the current, pick out all of the abundant plankton in the sea.
Yes, they're really fun animals to watch, and they are, of course, closely related to the moray eels. You will never find garden eels in areas where there's no current. They must always thrive and survive in areas where there's current, because it's the currents that bring the food to them. So they're all out of their burrows feeding right now, and they're just catching little bits of plankton that is being drifted towards them in the current.
And they actually tend to stay in these burrows for most of their life. So they live a pretty sedentary lifestyle. They will leave it, however, during mate.
And you could easily swim over these guys thinking that they're just little blades of algae or seagrass. It isn't until you get close that you realize that they're garden eels. I have never seen the tail or the bottom half of the body of a garden eel. It's always in the burrow. I've never seen what it looks like in real life towards the back of the body.
Yeah, they rarely will fully come out of their burrow.
I have quite a good question from Yambi Bike Mike. Can you please explain the difference between current and surge?
Yeah, sure. So current are the overall movement of water that's generated by wind. So a current will generally be flowing in the same direction at the same speed for a somewhat long period of time, depending on how the wind changes. Whereas, and this is generally in the deeper waters, whereas as you get shallower, the surge is when you're in the shallows and it's moving kind of back and forth. And this is because as energy starts to move in from the open sea, shallower and shallower, it's actually not something moving as one, it's friction. So it's particles rubbing against one another in a circle motion and then passing it on and then passing it on. So as it gets shallower and shallower, this energy becomes greater and greater. So when you start to hit the surge zone or the shallower waters, the surge will start to push in and then draw back and then push in and draw back, whereas the current will just kind of keep moving in the one direction.
P. Hart is asking about garden eels mating, so that's an interesting story for you, Pat.
Yeah, so the mating of the garden eels, as I said before, this is the only time that they will leave. So I believe the female will go to the male's burrow to mate. Or it's the other way around. The male goes to the female.
I think it's the male. The naughty boys.
And I know in moray eels, the morays lay eggs. And the males fertilise these eggs. Is it the same with garden eels, if you know, Laura?
I believe so, but they don't leave to go to a spawning site.
Yeah. Very curious little creatures. And they are abundant. Pretty much every sandy area here in Grand Cayman is just littered with garden eels, which is great because it gives a bit of character to the sandy patches. It doesn't make them look so barren and desert-like. Even though they aren't, there's still plenty of life in amongst the sand, but these just make it look a bit more scenic.
So Take Care is asking, do garden eels have teeth?
Ooh, I haven't actually been able to get close enough to the head of one to check.
Yes, they do. They have very, very small teeth, but plankton consists of many different things. Larvae, sperm, eggs, gametes, small crustaceans such as shrimps and crabs, and even jellies. So yes, they have very, very small teeth to eat those plankton that comes their way. And Stevie's asking, if we pulled one out of its burrow, would it die?
Would it die if it was to come out of its burrow?
If we pulled it out, yeah.
I don't think it would die straight away, but it would be a lot more susceptible to predation. So that is why they tend not to do it. But it's not as if their burrow is some sort of life force for them. So it's not going to kill them if they come out, but they are more likely to die.
Yep, that is correct. Their burrow is just their home, just their safety, their protection, so it wouldn't die if we pulled it out, but like Pat mentioned, it would be then more susceptible to a predator coming along to get it, so it would automatically just go in search of a new burrow or create one.
Now Lauren, do you have your identification guide at the ready?
Yes, I do.
Alright, Rihanna, just here. We have two fish here, of which I don't believe I know the species. If I had to guess, I would say that they are blennies.
Okay.
Bit bigger ones, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, let me get a closer look. And while we're getting closer, can I have an air check, Pat? Because I know you're quite deep.
Yeah. So, I have... I'm 90 bar. I am chewing through my air this morning.
Okay, I don't believe this is a blenny, but maybe if you can describe it to us, and I'll just have a look in the identification book.
So it is a bit paler in colour, kind of like a pale green. Now that I'm closer, it does look a bit more rust-like.
Yes, I think it's a wrasse. There are so many wrasse. I am just going through them all right now. So can you see any colours? It's very difficult for me to see any colour.
They're a very pearly white with a greenish head and top of their body. And they have, now that I'm closer, it's striped. So it's kind of a greeny brown and white stripe. It's got a very distinct black spot.
Do they both have this black spot?
This black spot is surrounded by blue.
I believe it's a razor fish, actually.
Yes, that could be very rough.
It does look like it could be the green razor fish with that distinctive black dot in that mottled pattern. When it is patterned, it means it's female, so I can only see one at the minute, but is the other one the same pattern, Pat?
Sorry?
Do they both have the same pattern?
Yes, they do. The other one that's swimming up now is a little bit paler than the other, but they seem to have the same body shape and stripe pattern.
So I do believe this is the green razor fish, which is part of the wrasse family, so it's part of the larger wrasse grouping, but they are called razor fish.
There we go.
So the one we're looking at right now doesn't appear to have a black dot, so I don't think that one is the green one.
We may have two different species.
Yes, I think they're both razor fish, but I don't think they're the same species.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard to see the coloration, but this one could possibly be the pearly or the rosy razor fish. If anyone watching knows, feel free to let us know.
Know a whole heap about razor fish. They are closely related to wrasses, are they not?
Yes, they're part of the wrasse family.
Yes.
They do have a slightly different appearance, and normally they're very small. So what size would you say this one is, Pat?
Oh, very small. Definitely under 10 centimetres. Probably about 7 or 8 centimetres, so just about 3 inches long.
So it's all a little bit out of focus. I do believe we do have a razor fish, which would be the first one on diveLIVE. And Proud Cat Mama is asking how it gets its name, and again I have no idea. We can't get into that, but sometimes the name throat and razor. So thank you for that. And I'll see you again at 11 a.m. Grand Cayman time.